Just so you know, I can't see. Okay. Hey, good Sunday, children. I'm Auntie Hanifah from the podcast Your Gay Aunties. And this is One MFKN Meditative Moment. Today's meditation was inspired by the life experience of one Will Smith. Now, I'm not speaking of recent trials and tribulations that he and his wife Jada are now experiencing when sharing aspects of their private life. For that, I just say, let's all breathe and mind our motherfucking business. Let's breathe and, in fact, close our minds to other people's motherfucking private lives, even when made public. When something is made public, you can either judge, praise, or use it as a reflection point. Reflect on how you would like to be treated when you too fall short, or if you and your partner enjoy yourselves with others. Wouldn't y'all simply ask of others to remain mindful of y'all's motherfucking business? Breathe. No, I'm here to talk about another conversation Will and Jada had on the red couch for Father's Day. It was Jada's Father's Day gift to Will to not only reflect on his role as a father, but to acknowledge his own and how that helped him build the house that is the Smith family we all know and love. So let's close our eyes, children, and breathe. In this conversation between Jada and Will, I was reminded that you not only never stop learning, but more importantly, you never stop learning about yourself. In the conversation, Will recounted the time when, at an absurdly young age, he and his siblings set out to build a roof and wall over a piece of abandoned property his father had purchased. And they needed to do so before winter. They did not assist their father, a strict disciplinarian, in the project. It was instead simply overseen by their father. He instructed his young children on how to lay one perfect brick at a time. As they complained, cried, and most likely cursed their father's name under their breath at the time, they, not he, did the work. From a child's perspective, that job must have appeared enormous, overwhelming. It was literally impossible for three young children to build a roof and walls to protect a piece of rundown property. I can imagine it is what it feels like often to be black when coming up against white supremacy in America. But somehow, by the time, just before the first snow, they, the children, nailed in the last board. Will was asked by Jada what he learned. He said, what I learned. No, what I lost was the fear of the impossible. Okay, stop. Full breath. In that moment, I cried because though in my 40-something years of living, I had heard so many times that nothing is impossible, but I was never taught it. And there lies the difference. And perhaps the root of my own personal salvation and ours as a people. Follow me now. We have embattled, adapted to, and overcome so many impossibilities that we often forget about the bricks and just see the wall. How do we teach ourselves to not fear the impossible, to not give strength to the impossible, rather redefine and expand on what is possible? As Black people, the impossible is like a double consciousness within us, where we are often taught and shown that so many things are impossible for us. Yet, the actions we ultimately take as a collective show that it's not. And with every fearless action, we lay a brick. Where every generation has had to combat the negative images of ourselves and propose limitations, we still have always made them bricks. That is not better exemplified than right now. In your auntie's day, having a Black president was impossible. Seeing America actively confront and begin to systematically reshape its relationship with us was impossible. So how did we make the impossible possible? Brick by motherfucking brick. Our fearful realities are shaped by our thoughts alone. Our pursuit of happiness, peace, is shaped by the consistency of our actions over time. Where fear can be flipped with a switch, the dismantling force of our fearlessness must be built brick by brick. Remember, all of the bricks. Amistad, Gabriel Prosser, Nat Turner, and the countless slave rebellions we've never heard of were bricks. Harriet Tubman wielding a relentless crusade of freedom with a gun in hand, brick. Black Union soldiers finding victory on the front line, though placed there as sacrifice, brick. Sojourner Truth, who stood up to white women and men and demanded they see Black women deserving of our possible. Ain't I a woman? She asked. She persisted, laying them bricks. The Great Migration of the 1900s, not just fleeing the South, but building new cities in the North, brick. The first music mogul, Ma Rainey, a queer woman, and every Black woman blues singer who initially paved the way for what we now know as the music industry, to which we dominate, brick. To the first planned march on Washington prior to MLK in 1941 that scared FDR so much, it allowed not only for Black soldiers to fight in World War II, but Black people to reap the financial benefits and dignity of defense jobs and New Deal benefits as they rose from the bottoms of an American depression. Brick. And then there was Emmett Till's mom, who laid the brick with a bold decision to leave her son's coffin open. That brick was just as important as the literal brick Marsha P. Johnson threw at the Stonewall windows just a couple of decades in the future. These are moments familiar to most of us, but they are just a small number of the breaks where we refuse to have their impossible define our existence. With a multitude of riots of the 60s, 7, 8, 9, 2000, 2010s, and 2020 were bricks provided by the foundation of our ancestors who did everything from build institutions, creating culture to keep us sane and white folks halfway civil, to slitting white folks' throats at night. Bricks. Like Will's father, who retold the story, explained that he purposely did not help because they, his children, needed to know that all is possible by their hands. Every moment, decision, action, and breath in life, children, is a brick. Your reality is the culmination of the quality of your decisions and actions. Life is a meditation of laying bricks. This is why I often say we are not just our ancestors' dreams. We are what was their impossible. Like them, we are laying bricks that we may not benefit from. That is how bricklaying works, children. Like Will's father, who knew that no house will stand without a strong foundation. As your auntie, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, laying those bricks. You can see the house you are building that I may never see. But my joy and assurance comes from knowing the foundation it's built on. Though I myself may never see this mansion of black ease, thoroughly imagined paradise, though as a child I was not shown or taught that I can overcome the impossible, there are children that are being taught the opposite by these bricks you're laying down. Y'all did it by your hands. Our joy as your aunties is in seeing you being taught not to fear the impossible because you come from generations of bricklayers. So here is a meditative mantra about possibility. All is possible. I greet the day to receive all that was provided for me by those whose days were defined by others. All is possible as we organize to vote in ways that will rattle the graves of our ancestors. All is possible. Just a few years ago, a young woman survived climbing a pole to rip down a Confederate flag. Survived not the heights, but the crackers. Just a few years later, those who were children then now organize around the complete removal of them from our future. All is possible. All is possible. All is possible. Break the motherfucking break. Open your eyes, children. Thank you for spending this time with me, us. We just met a humble milestone here on YouTube with your gay aunties. We are 100 subscribers strong after just going live to you for a month. As you can see, during our break, we are testing out the new streaming software from StreamYard. Plug. Let us know what you think. And please subscribe so maybe we can reach 200 by the time me and Red, the Gay Aunties podcast team, return to you the first Sunday in August. Same Auntie time, same Auntie YouTube. And now, Facebook channel. Okay, babies, I love you. Stay safe and keep laying them motherfucking bricks.